All right, spring is here. It's time for composition one. Actually, it doesn't seem like spring is here, does it? Yesterday was really windy and cold, but we've got a couple weeks and then we're gonna see some sunshine and some warm days. As you all know, we are not in the classroom right now. We are online. This is because the number of coronavirus cases have exploded. And even though it's been 2 years and everyone is sick of dealing with it, the virus doesn't care. As usual, there's lots of rumors around about various things. I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but my sister, my brother, who both have their own families, have got the virus. They survived, but they didn't feel very good for a week. So just because Omicron isn't going to kill you doesn't mean that you want to get it and have a week of your life deleted, okay? When I was a freshman, I didn't take care of myself. I got a throat infection. It was mostly from drinking too much and not eating properly and staying up all night. But I literally laid on my sofa at home for a week and lost like 4.5 kilograms, and I wasn't a fat guy at the time. Came back to school, everybody thought I had, disappeared, died, been kidnapped or something. That was what happened to me in October of my first year. It's not fun to be sick for a week. So be careful. Some students have already got it. Some people are lucky and they don't feel anything. That's good. But until we stop having all these cases, the cafeterias closing and classes being smaller and stuff like that, I think it's better to do it online. The university policy is we want to do the classes in person, but it's unrealistic to do that. Till the last minute, were intending on having us do in-person class, but right on the holiday, March 1st, they reversed course and suggested that we don't. For this class, it doesn't matter that much. I think it's much more difficult for other classes to do online, but this is a writing class, so there isn't a whole lot of speaking you have to do. It's you writing and listening to me and sometimes asking questions. And I get, in the class, I ask you to speak because otherwise it just becomes my voice and scratching of pencils on paper. And that's a little bit boring. So we'll survive. This class will survive. I only have one composition class this semester, so we're going to do this class online for 1 month, and then we will go back into the classroom, okay? For us, it's not a big deal. Most of you are freshmen, and I'm sorry that you don't get to see each other mostly, because socializing is a big part of being a freshman and going to university. So, but we will fix that. Just be patient, and we'll do 4 classes, this one plus 3 more, online through the cyber campus. So you just got to log in, and then there'll be a post giving you notice that we will be online until April, just for March. And there'll be an assignment to do, and you have to watch this lecture and make sure you complete it. This introduction will be something like 20 to 25 minutes. And once, I can't predict it exactly, but once it's uploaded to YouTube, then I link it to the cyber campus when it's working properly. And all you have to do is click on the link and then make sure, if I set it for 30 minutes, that the timer completes, because that's how I know that you're attending the class. So that counts for your attendance. So first of all, I'll introduce myself. I'm Professor Sullivan, and I'm Canadian. And I call myself Canadian Korean these days because this is my 13th year. Although my Korean language skills are not that good, I can listen to Korean pretty well. I can write in Hangul, and I probably know more about Lee Sun-shin and Kim Se-jung than you do. I'm gonna bet. I'll make a bet with you. Just Chunwon. But I'm very familiar with Korean history because I'm a history fanatic. I've read lots of books about Korean history, and I'm, of course, a big fan of Korean food, and my job is here. So I came here a long time ago thinking I would just teach a year or two and then go back, but I never left. So here I am. Canadian Korean. You know, if you're a Korean who moves to Canada and becomes Canadian, you're Korean Canadian. So it's just the reversal. It's globalization, right? So anyway, I'm here to help you improve your writing, and I've always been interested in writing. My major is English literature, like most of you, but it doesn't matter what your major is. If you want to be a journalist, or you want to be a government officer, or you want to be a teacher, or you want to be an author, these days you want to work for a computer, software company that makes computer games, and you want to write stories, it doesn't matter. English writing can get you a job somewhere. If you have good English writing skills, there'll be opportunities for you somewhere, in some company, in a business, or in an academic situation, or in a civil capacity, working for a government. So this class is very important. But to me, I just liked writing stories when I was young. So I grew up liking writing until I went to high school, and then I started to like it less because there was a lot of, essay writing and literature and analysis and critique. But I started to get used to that and liked it more and more again until I went to university and I became an English major. And then I did a master's degree, and gradually that killed my interest in writing and reading again, because I just did too much of it and it was stressful. So, it's not like writing is a natural thing for human beings to do. We naturally speak, we communicate by body language and by speaking, and then we teach our children, especially our children, when they're in school, and to develop these skills that transmit communication through characters. And you can keep those characters for sometimes thousands of years and sort of try and guess what ancient people were thinking or doing or saying by reading what they wrote. So it's got a very unique purpose. This is why we have writing as an essential part of our studies. But it does take some of the fun out of it when you're trying to be efficient and you're trying to be careful and exact, and you want other people to understand you. So usually when I say how many people like writing, and I ask the class to put their hands up, there's usually out of 20 students, there's 2 or 3, or sometimes 0. So I would like to not make this class painful. I would like to make you rediscover your joy for writing. I actually had 3 composition classes last semester, which is a lot. So I had 60 writing students, and there were several of them, that asked what's wrong with their writing or how could I improve and stuff. And there was a student, I explained to them, honestly, you didn't make an effort in this writing. You haven't really followed the instructions, and that is why your grade is it's lower than you expected. And the student responded, "Oh, I see, now I understand. Actually, I knew that he or she, I'm not sure which it was, to be honest, said that they had lost their desire or motivation and that they would try harder." And sure enough, that student did improve by the exam, and their grade kind of did a U-turn. So it's partly just in writing a struggle against yourself to push yourself to do the work. If you're lazy, you're going to get bad results every time. If you do a little bit extra, you'll be satisfied. The grades will come if you make the effort, okay? So I'm Professor Sullivan. You can call me that. I know in Korea, Jeremy Teacher or Sunsang Nim or something is fine, but in English class, it should be Professor Sullivan. Don't call me Mr. Sullivan, because whenever somebody says that, I look around for my dad, and he's not here. So that's just a little bit about me. We'll get to know each other a little bit. It's less of a personal class than the conversation class, because there's less interaction and talking. But through our writing, you should be able to get to know me and me you, because writing also, everybody has a style, you know, and some of the greatest writers, you can just tell that when you see their writing, they're so amazing and their characters are so vibrant and that kind of thing. But their personality is completely different than the characters they create. Their writing style is their own thing. It's almost like it's a separate thing from who they are. So you've got to develop your own style too. And I don't mean develop your own language and your own spelling and your own grammar, okay? You still have to write in English, but everybody has their own fingerprint, and I respect that. But there are guidelines and there's rules, especially for academic writing, and you have to stay within those lines. So I do want you to listen carefully when I explain to you how you approach academic writing as opposed to writing an email or writing a story, because this class is really about formal writing, okay? And you can apply these formal writing rules in all of your classes. Doesn't matter what major it is, if it's science or it's business or it's engineering, social studies, or humanities, it doesn't matter. And when you're writing formally in other situations, serious situations, including applying for jobs and interviews and presentations, you follow the same rules still. If you're in a court, for some reason, you got to write a legal document, you're going through immigration, you're dealing with the government, these rules apply. So this class is very valuable, but we do want to make it as interesting as possible, okay? I don't want to say entertaining, but as interesting as possible. Okay, let me adjust this so you can see better. Over here, our room will be 501. For now, Cyber Campus. Put in your ID, put in your password, go to our class. The lecture will be there. Click on it, watch it, make some notes, complete the timer. That's it. My office is 436. This is my email. If you want to contact me, send me an email. If you want to meet me in person, send me an email, make an appointment, and then you can meet me here. If you'd rather talk to me on Zoom or just email me your question like that, that's fine. I don't do consultations on the phone, but Zoom is possible now. Instead of, if you want to, a virtual in-person chat through the screen, that's no problem. I have my own address and we can set that up if you're not comfortable coming here. If you live nearby and you just want to drop by the office, then you make an appointment and we can do that. The textbook here. Textbook, you got to be careful because they recently updated this. This is an old textbook, but it has multiple versions. So now it's writing paragraphs. You need the new one because it's different than the old ones. I think I have 4 different versions of this. So it used to be blue. Now it's clearly a different color, right? We're doing from topics to paragraphs, okay? It's a green book. It's number 2. It's number 2 in the series, and it's Dorothy Zemak. That's what it looks like. Don't buy the wrong one. Don't buy an old one. It's not that expensive. I don't know how much it is, but it's under Iman Won. It's not very expensive. Mano-chan, I guess, or Iman Won, something like that. Get the book. Also, it's not useful to have somebody's old book because this is a workbook, really. You're supposed to write in it. And we will have to do some of the homework online because we are online. But once you come into class, we're going to do the exercises in class. That will reduce the amount of homework you do, and it'll give you something for us to talk about and something for me to look at. Like I would like to walk around the class like a workshop and see what you're doing and give you some advice about your process, because the main point this author makes about writing is that writing is a process. It's not something you just do in one step. It has many steps, and all of the steps are important. If you skip them, you end up with a lower quality product results. Just like if you had a recipe and you skipped an important step in the recipe, the cake would look strange. It would be deflated, or it would taste terrible. If you've forgotten ingredients like sugar, it wouldn't be a delicious. There wouldn't be a delicious result. It would be disgusting. So, the author is Dorothy Zemack. She writes. There are 4 books in the series, so make sure you get number 2, Writing Paragraphs. Number 2, Green Book. As I said before, we're going to be online for a month. After that, in the classroom, 501, which is directly above my office. Okay, so for this week, I don't normally give homework on the first week, but the problem is, for the last 2 years, as I said, I haven't seen anybody's faces. All I see is student numbers, and I get assignments and I just give grades, and it seems very inhuman, especially for a faculty that's called the humanities. So although I love digital technology and I think it's convenient for us to do some things online, I don't even know who you are. So I would like you to write, for this class, I would like you to write why English writing is important. Okay, if you can't see very well on the board, don't worry about it. I'm going to post the assignment on the Cyber Campus. I want you to just write half a page, 1 paragraph. I want you to tell me why you think English writing is important. You can give personal reasons. You can give reasons from when you were young, from now, from traveling, from business, from your future. I don't care. Just give me the reasons why you think English writing is important, okay? If it's an opinion because you like it and you want to improve, and that's the reason, I'm not judging that. I just want a paragraph and I want to see how you write. And I want you to give reasons. A lot of this class is going to be about making judgments, looking at information, processing it, and then responding to it, analyzing it, right? That's what good writing is about academically. You're going to criticize and you're going to analyze and synthesize what you read. We're going to talk about all different kinds of things. There's going to be facts, and there's going to be opinions, there's going to be information and disinformation and misinformation, and there's going to be real things and there's going to be virtual things, and we want to be able to put those into a form where somebody can read it and understand your point of view. So you can express a position. That's the building block of academic writing, to take a position and defend the position so that other people can appreciate that point of view, that perspective, okay? And if they can, if your logic and your organization is effective, then you're being an effective writer. You're being a communicator through written language. So, next thing, how can you evaluate this? Well, first of all, before I tell you the rubric, let's just talk about the whole class. The thing that students like the most about this class is, well, let's talk about the thing they like the least. The thing that they like the least is writing papers, okay? But we're not going to write real essays because a lot of students don't have experience doing that. So we're just going to write what we call a response paper, which is essentially some summary and then response, right? You summarize some information. I give you a topic, you summarize it. There's 2 parts to it. You tell it the basic information about the topic, and then you analyze it. You tell me about your opinion, your perspective, consequences, results, applications. So there's 2 parts to that. Just the ability to organize the information, and then the ability to write and respond to it. Okay, that's a response paper. That's the main thing that we want to work towards, because if you can do response papers, then essays come easier after that. So again, it comes down to looking at information, having a perspective on it, taking a position, arguing that position effectively. Those are the response papers, okay? That's the thing that's tough, but the good news is there's no midterm. We do not have a midterm exam because I don't believe that midterm exams are really a good idea in a pure writing class because it takes a while. It is a process. And this is composition 1. So if I give you a midterm after 8 weeks, you haven't had enough time to practice writing. It's not fair. So instead of doing that, the response papers are going to be the practice. So there's going to be a response paper after like 6 weeks, and then there'll be a response paper towards the end of the term, and then there'll be an exam. This is the graded section. Okay, you get a grade on this part. The other parts is homework exercises, 2 types: homework that I assign and homework that is from the textbook. Okay, some of these get graded. Occasionally I grade them, but usually they're just ungraded. You just have to complete them. They're writing exercises, they're sentence building, organization, response things, topic analysis, brainstorming things. This is all part of homework, and you can get close to perfect, if not perfect, on your homework. Attendance, of course, is come to class, engage, participate, answer questions, and then there's no reason you can't get perfect on that either. Okay? It's a very simple, breakdown of the grade of the term. Okay? Most of the things that you will do will be in the homework category, and there's 2 response papers, so they're 10% each, and then there's the exam. Okay? Now when it comes to grading the response papers and stuff on the exam, you're writing, these are the things, I basically tell my students, this is how most professors take the judgment criteria of a piece of writing. So what's the most important thing? Argument is the most important thing. Organization is second, logic is third. It doesn't really matter what order that is, but argumentation is number 1, okay? What's number 2 and what's number 3? It doesn't really matter, but these are the 3 things that have to be there. That's the making of an A paper. If you don't have one of those things, it should not be an A+, okay? After that, there's this second tier of factors, right? Which is having good grammar, having good vocabulary, and it's otherwise known as diction, vocabulary and grammar, punctuation. These are basic things, so they shouldn't be bad. If you have really bad punctuation, you don't deserve an A either. And stylistic things, right? Considerations of where things are put because of personal choice, or because of emphasis, or because of flow, or something like that. These things are less important. These things are the most important things. So if you're effective in those 3, you have a good chance of getting an A. And everything else is okay, you got an A. If everything is good, it's an A+. If you're missing one of these fundamental things, one of these is not done well, then it's not going to be an A+. It's going to be an A or a B or B-, okay? So these things, if there's major problems in this, then it just lowers and lowers your score. But these are the things that I'm looking for. These are the primary things that we will focus on. And these are the things that are going to be in evidence in your papers. I'll be able to tell that you understand and that you're using those principles. When I see your response paper and I give you an A+, that will be the reason. Okay, so you need to get your textbook. Don't forget, get your textbook. Make sure you have 1 week to watch this video. It'll be up, available for you to attend until next Sunday night. So you have a week to look at it. And that's all I have to say for today, except please be careful and enjoy yourself. You're a freshman, make friends, go out and enjoy yourself, but try not to, meet too many people, and be careful that you don't get sick, because that's not going to be a good time. And that brings us almost right up to 25 minutes. So I managed my time well this class, which won't happen very often. So I'll sign off for today. Have a good week and see you next Monday. Take Take care.